Hey, what's up? It's Nathan here with thebtccourse.com, and in this video we're going to talk about Wasabi Wallet, which is a privacy-focused Bitcoin wallet, and it gets its privacy by doing Coinjoins, and they do have a video that explains Coinjoins, which I recommend watching. It's 2 minutes and 38 seconds. Link in the description down below, but I'll also try and address it during the video as well, so you can kind of see how a Coinjoin works to protect your privacy. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and set up this wallet and take a look at all of its functions and features and all that type of stuff. Now, one thing to note, the privacy is for personal privacy. It's not to break the law. It's not for money laundering or washing or cleaning stolen Bitcoin or anything like that. Now, there is some stuff about them censoring transactions. So Wasabi Wallet begins censoring Coinjoin transactions. And so if your wallet address is blacklisted on like a governmental blacklist, then you're not going to be able to run it through the Wasabi Wallet, okay? And I just wanted to point that out. Now you might be asking yourself, well, what do I need privacy for if I'm not doing anything illegal? Well, maybe you don't want to reveal to somebody how much Bitcoin you have. So, of course, everything on the Bitcoin blockchain is public. Like, anybody can look at anybody's transactions. And so if you send somebody Bitcoin, they could look at the address that that Bitcoin came from, and then they could probably backtrack to how much Bitcoin you have in your wallet. And so if you're sending Bitcoin, you might not want somebody to see how much Bitcoin you have. Or if you're receiving Bitcoin and you give somebody an address to send Bitcoin to, well then, depending on how you do your transactions and stuff like that, you might reveal how much Bitcoin you have to that person as well. So if you're sending or receiving Bitcoin from individuals or businesses and you don't want to reveal your full stack to them, using Wasabi Wallet could be a good way to kind of obfuscate how much Bitcoin you have and to keep your stack private. So anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. So this is their website and you can come check it out, but I'm gonna go ahead and download it right now. So I'll click on download and I'm gonna go ahead and click on download right here because I'm running Windows, but of course run or download the operating system that you have and just go through the install process. So self-explanatory stuff right here. And I'm gonna go ahead and launch Wasabi Wallet and finish. I'm going to go ahead and make this full screen. Now I did pick up a wallet that I already have, but I'm going to go ahead and click on add a new wallet. So we can click on that. And so we have a few different options. We can go ahead and add a new wallet, and this would give us 12 or 24 words or passphrase, and that would be used to generate our private keys and create our wallet. Now that would be considered a hot wallet because our private keys would be stored on our computer and our computer is connected to the internet. You could also go ahead and connect to a hardware wallet. So I think that they support a few different tools. So they have Ledger right here, Treasure right here, Cold Card, and maybe they have their own hardware device. I'm not quite sure what that is. But anyway, if you want to go ahead and connect, a hardware wallet to Wasabi Wallet, you could go through this setup right here. It's pretty self-explanatory, especially if you can set up a hardware wallet, you could go ahead and connect it to Wasabi Wallet. It's pretty self-explanatory stuff. Additionally, you could go ahead and import a wallet. So if you have a Wasabi file already, you could go ahead and import that. Or you could recover a wallet. So right here, you could go ahead and type in recovery words in the correct order to recover your wallet. So a few different options here. We're just gonna go ahead and create a new wallet. And I'm just gonna call this demo wallet for video and continue. So it's given me 12 words to write down, so I'm going to go ahead and write these down. Now, you don't want to share these 12 words with anybody, and you don't want to store them anywhere digitally where somebody could hack into your computer and get these 12 words because this is essentially your username and password to access your Bitcoin on the blockchain. So this stuff you want to keep private and secure. Now, I'm showing it to you for demonstration purposes, and I'm going to clean this wallet out after the video anyway, but yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and write these down real quick, and then I'm going to go ahead and click on continue. So now it's asking me, or it's kind of quizzing me to confirm, so I'm going to go ahead and write these down. Laundry, and number 6 is soda, and number 7 is spike. And continue. And now it's asking if I want to enter a password, and this password will encrypt my wallet file, so we want to make a good password for our file. So go ahead and do that and continue. And then it wants us to select our Coinjoin strategy. So Wasabi takes care of your financial privacy by automatically starting to Coinjoin all your funds for a fixed 0.3% coordination fee plus the mining fees. Select a Coinjoin strategy that fits you best. So it gives us 3 options right here, and also the option to customize. So you can go ahead and customize it, and we'll go through these real quick right now. But also I want to point out that you can change your strategy later on. So if you start with maximum privacy and you realize like it's taking way too long and you don't actually need that much privacy, then maybe you would switch over to maximum speed or something like that. So anyway, minimize costs. It's for savers, only participates in Coinjoins during the cheapest parts of the week. So it does its best to save you money, but it might take a little bit of time for your coins to become private. Maximize speed, so it gets things done, and it's geared towards speed and convenience. However, it's going to be a little more costly because it's going to focus on just getting it done instead of, waiting for the lower fees in the mempool and stuff like that. And then maximum privacy is it's going to mix a bunch of times, or a lot more times than these other options, and it might spend more money as well. So let's go ahead and click on customize real quick. So I'm on the maximum privacy one, and we can see that there's a few different CoinJoin strategy settings that we can go ahead and modify. So there's red coin isolation, and this, I don't know how to explain it really well, but if you turn this on, it's going to make your CoinJoins even more private. So that's why it's turned on for maximum privacy. So if you want maximum privacy, red coin isolation is something that you would want to turn on. And I'll try to include a link below that defines what red coin isolation means, because this definition right here, I don't know, it's kind of confusing to me. So I had to do some Googling, but yeah, it increases the privacy. If you want maximum privacy, turn that on, but it will slow things down. Anonymity score target. So this is how many other CoinJoins will be combined with yours, and I'll show you what that means later on in the video. But basically, the higher the number, so 51 is for maximum privacy, but you can go all the way to 300. So this would be like optimum privacy, but it will take a long time for this to happen. So just something to note. So it could take weeks in order to process this. And then CoinJoin time preference. So basically, the shorter you set this, the higher your fees will be, but the quicker your CoinJoins will happen. So yeah, so if hours will be the more expensive, but the quickest, whereas months, it'll be slow, but it'll be the cheapest. So that's just an option that's out there, and I'm just gonna get cancel. And then so maximize speed on the other hand. So that red coin isolation is turned off because it takes a longer time to do red coin isolation. And so that wouldn't be part of maximum speed. Anonymity score is only 5. And then CoinJoin time preference is hours because, again, we're willing to pay a higher fee to get it done quicker. And I'll just hit done and then minimize costs and customize. So red coin isolation is off because it would be a little more expensive to do red coin isolation. Anonymity score is 5, and then CoinJoin time preference is weeks. So again, we're willing to wait weeks in order for our CoinJoin to take place if the fees are low enough. So anyway, those are the 3 options, or you could go ahead and customize it. For my particular purposes, I'm going to go ahead and do maximize speed because I don't want to, wait weeks or something like that in order to finish this video up. So I'll do maximize speed and continue. And now your demo wallet has been added, so done. And now it wants my password for my demo wallet, so I'm going to do that. And so here we are inside of my wallet. And of course, the first thing we need to go ahead and do is receive some Bitcoin into this wallet. So I'm going to go ahead and receive, and it wants me to go ahead and label where this Bitcoin is coming from because I'm giving this address out to somebody to send me Bitcoin, right? Now, I'm sending myself the Bitcoin, so that's pretty simple. But if you wanted to receive Bitcoin from somebody, well, then you would go ahead and enter their name right here. But I'm just going to say sending Bitcoin to myself. And I'm going to go ahead and do continue. So then there's my QR code, or I could go ahead and send this address right here to send the Bitcoin to, but I have some Bitcoin on my phone, so I'm going to send it to my Wasabi wallet real quick. And so I've sent the Bitcoin, so I'm just going to go ahead and click on OK. And it might take a minute or two to pop up in here, but it just popped in right here. So there's my transaction incoming, and it'll start to auto CoinJoin as soon as the transaction has come into my wallet and confirmed. So we'll wait for that to happen, but in the meantime, we'll go over a couple different features inside the Wasabi wallet. So we can see my transaction right here, and there's a couple options on the left. So we have show details, so I'm going to click on that. And so here's the details of my transaction. So all this stuff, status pending. Here's my transaction ID. So I can actually copy that, and let's go to mempool.space. And I'm going to go ahead and plug that transaction ID in there. And I can see my transaction on the blockchain. So I'm on that first block right there. And once it crosses this dotted line, it'll confirm. And then Wasabi Wallet will start doing the CoinJoins and all that cool stuff. And if you're not familiar with the mempool website, well, link in the description down below. I have a video tutorial on how to use the mempool. So anyway, coming back over here, we'll click on done. And then there's a couple other things right here. So it shows that this is a pending and a transaction right there. So you can't click on this stuff. It's just for show. And at the top, it shows my wallet balance right here. So 0.00329174 Bitcoin, which is about $100 USD. The privacy progress right here, which is currently 0% because I've not done any Coinjoins at this time. And then the current price of Bitcoin. And you might have noticed right here, this has changed to a check mark, so my transaction has confirmed. So now it should start doing Coinjoins right here. And then we can come over to settings right here, and there's a couple different settings we can look at. So dark mode, so I'm in dark mode right now, which is why mine is dark, but if yours was light and you want it dark like mine, well, this is the option for that. And then we have some other self-explanatory options like run Wasabi when computer starts, run in background when closed, auto copy, network anonymization over Tor. So you probably want this turned on since you're doing Coinjoins and you want privacy. You probably want it to run over Tor. So this option's on by default, but you probably want to leave it on. And there's a couple other options right there. We can come over to Bitcoin. And so if you're doing mainnet or testnet or reg test, you want to make sure you're on the correct network. And I've left it as default settings. And there's also advanced, so enable GPU. And so when this is enabled, it uses a graphics card GPU to render user interface. Using a GPU rather than a CPU can improve performance. So yeah, this was just a default setting also. So a couple just random settings, nothing super significant other than probably the Tor one. And if you want to have dark mode versus light mode. All right, so we'll go with done. And now I basically just have to wait for my privacy to progress, and it's going to automatically do that. So I'm going to go ahead and wait for a little while, and I'll resume the video once my privacy is 100%. And I'm back, and you might notice that the privacy progress is now at 100%. So we're going to take a look at that in just a second. There's a couple other settings over here in the top right hand corner that I want to cover first. So click over here. So here's Coinjoin settings, and so these are the default settings, but you can see right here the Coinjoin strategy. So if you wanted to change your strategy from maximize speed to maximize privacy or minimize costs or do a custom one, you can come back in here and update your strategy right there. So that's where that option is. Coming back over here, we have wallet settings. So this is where you can go ahead and verify your recovery words, make sure that you wrote them down correctly and stuff like that. And so I'll just do done. And then we have wallet stats. So this is the number of, or it just gives us the details within our wallet. So like the number of coins or UTXOs or unspent transaction outputs is right there. So I have 4 in my wallet. Number of transactions, number of addresses, clean addresses, and so on. So just some details about your wallet. And come back over here to wallet info. And it wants us to enter our password. And then we also have wallet info right here. And it wants us to enter our password. So we can go ahead and do that. So here's all of the wallet info. Like we have our extended master private key right here. So of course this is the username and password for the Bitcoin, similar to the seed phrase. The seed phrase actually derives the private key. So they go hand in hand with each other. They're basically the same thing. So anyway, it's sensitive data because that's basically your username and password. We have, your fingerprint information, your XPub information, and so on. So all that stuff is in here. If you're interested in it, this is where it is. And if you wanted to show that sensitive data, you could go ahead and click that button and it would show the information right there. So I just wanted to point those things out because I failed to do so when we first looked at the settings. All right, so anyway, here we are in privacy progress. And we can kind of see, hopefully you can see, that there's like different chunks right here. So there's like a longer green chunk, medium size, and then 2 smaller green chunks right there. So I'm going to click on that, and it loads up our details. So we can see right here, like this, I have basically 4 chunks in my wallet, or UTXOs, unspent transaction outputs. And I can see if I hover over it, I have a UTXO that's 0.001 Bitcoin. And has an anonymity score of 8. I cannot say that word for some reason. All right, and then I have another chunk over here that is 16,384 satoshis. And anonymity score of 12. Again, I can't say that word. And then I have a 10,000 sat chunk of Bitcoin right there with an anon score of 10, and then a 0.002 Bitcoin chunk of Bitcoin with anon score of 11. So what the heck does like 11, 10, 12, and so on mean? So we selected that, when we selected our Coinjoin settings. So let's go ahead and look at the transaction. We can figure out what the heck it's saying here. So come over here, and now I can see that I have a new line right here, and this shows that this is Coinjoined Bitcoin right here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the show details, and got this transaction ID. I'm going to go ahead and grab that, and I'm going to go to the mempool.space website. Now I'm going to go ahead and plug that transaction ID in there. And here's where we can see all the inputs and outputs of the transaction. As you can see that there are a lot of them right here. And you'll notice that there's some similar sized chunks right here. So we have like 0.1, 0.1, 0.1, 0.1, 0.1, 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, and so on. And over here, we also have like, let's see, we should have a lot of similar sized chunks. So we have, 0.02, 0.02, 0.02, and hopefully you can see 0.00354,294. So it's all the same size. So that makes it hard for anybody to see which input goes to which output, because they kind of got all merged and blended together and joined together. So this is a bunch of people joining their coins together and creating basically new coins on the other side that are similar sizes. So it's hard to determine which input went into which output. And that's how the coin joining works. And hopefully you watch this video and hopefully it kind of explain things. And then what I'm saying right now, hopefully explain some things. But back to the original question right here. So we have these chunks of coin, and we have anonymity, anon score 12. So 16. So I'm going to come back over to mempool. Look up 16. And we can see over here on the output side, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 of these sized UTXOs all together, and we have 13 going in. So one probably got merged in somewhere else. But anyway, so we have our anon score then of 12. So that's where that 12 comes from. We basically created 12 UTXOs, all of the same size, so it's hard to tell which one's which. So then, of course, if you had set your anon score to 300, well, then it would probably have to cycle through a couple times and do a couple different coin joins in order to get that anon score up to 300. And I hope this is making some sort of sense. You might have to just experiment with it to kind of see what's happening, or watch this video a couple times in order to better understand it, or just do it yourself and go to the mempool website and look at your transactions and see what comes out the other end. But that's what that anon score means. Now, my coins are private right now. And so now basically the next thing you can do is send it somewhere. So let's go ahead and talk about sending your Bitcoin out of Wasabi. So it's pretty self-explanatory. We're going to go to send, and then we're going to go ahead and plug in our address that we want to go ahead and send to. And so I have an address, and I'm going to go ahead and paste it right here. There's my address, and then the amount I want to send. I want to go ahead and send it all. So I'm going to click up there, and then I'll do continue. And then the recipient, so sending Bitcoin to myself, and continue. And so it gives me the details of my transaction right here, and I can confirm my address and all that type of stuff. If I come down here, I could go ahead and update my fee settings. So we can do advanced right here, and I could set my transaction fee rate, or my sats per VByte. So if I went to the mempool website and I look at what the fees are currently, and again, I have a video on the mempool and deciding what fees to use and so on. So if you're interested, link in the description down below. But about 19 sats per VByte, I should get in the next block. So I'm going to come back over here and do 19, and done. And then I'm going to go ahead and confirm, and it wants my password. And there we go, my payment is successful. So I'll click on done. And then I can see that my transaction is pending here, but I can click on the details, get my transaction ID, go to the mempool.space website, and throw it right here, and look at my transaction. So here it is, my transaction should be in this first block right here. Just taking a second to load. But anyway, right here we can see the chunks of Bitcoin that I had, right? I had that 16384 that we looked up. I have a 0.0001 chunk, a 0.002 chunk, and a 0.001 chunk of Bitcoin. So if someone were to click on this and try and figure out, where this thing came from, they would come over here to this transaction. They would come down here and see that there's 225 inputs and outputs that they would have to go ahead and look for. They would open this up, and then they would look for that amount. So they would do the same thing that we did. And they would see that the 16384 has a bunch of inputs and outputs, and it'd be hard to know. They can see that this is the output right there. I guess they would know that, but they don't know what the input is. They don't know if it came from this one, or this one, or this one over here. They have no idea where this 16384 came from. So that's what the Coinjoin does, and that's how it increases your privacy. And so that's pretty much the video on Wasabi Wallet. It's a reasonably simple tool, and if you understand how Coinjoins work and how they increase your privacy, well then hopefully this is making some sense. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, I appreciate any sorts of likes, comments, subscribes, anything like that. And or please check out thebtccourse.com. It is a free website with lots of Bitcoin training, and I've written a couple articles on there as well. And it's just my passion project and way to give back to the Bitcoin community. So anyway, I hope you have a great rest of the day.